wish me luck.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another special GeekVerse review, this time covering Creature Commandos. I am your Knight Orlock, Kirkland Patzer. And who do I have with me?
I'm the Doc Foss Taylorfield.
The Doc Foss Taylorfield. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been with us up until now for this Creature Commandos, pretty much any review in the month of December, it's been me and Taylor. Maybe Dylan sprinkled it in here and there. But no, we've been a busy month, and wow, the month's actually over. We're in a whole new year now. It's January today. Kind of just reminded myself. But yeah, no, we got more reviews coming out. We got Creature Commandos, obviously we're covering. But yeah, we've done... Well, it's a whole new year, so we haven't really done much this year. We got to really pick it up. You know, we've been slacking so far. But no, we had a busy month in December. We covered Nosferatu. There's a review on there on the feeds. I did my first ever solo review of September 5. We had, like I already said, Creature Commandos we're doing right now, Skeleton Crew. What's the other show we just talked about? Dexter. Original Sin. Plenty of retros on the feeds. Just so much. And then obviously new year now. So 2025, we got tons of stuff that we're looking forward to the next year for you guys. Before we get into the juice, best place to support us is on our Patreon, where you get everything early, ad-free, exclusive. This episode, you know, like maybe I'll post it at some point this weekend. We'll see if I get lazy. But you know, Patreons, you get it instantly. It's going to be on there right away. No ads. Yeah, I was hinting at retrospectives earlier. Some of those are released maybe a year from now, but on the Patreons, you get all of that early. Tons of exclusive content. Different tiers. At our highest tier, we have our Patreon producers: Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Muds, Sam, Superbad Mike, The Good God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Randall. They are the highest tier, and they give us the most support, so we appreciate each and every one of them so dearly. Without further ado, Creature Commandos, penultimate episode 6. I can't remember the title. I think it was Prayeta Skelet, which
That sounds right.
I had to Google. It means friendly skeleton. So that's nice.
Friendly skeleton?
Or buddy skeleton. I don't know. I just searched up Prayet. I didn't search up Skelet because I feel like I kind of figured what that was. But yeah, what do you think about Prayet Skelet? Apologize,
Oh, man.
any Russian listener that had to just listen to that.
I actually enjoyed this episode a lot. It always catches me off guard when they throw in all the different gore and whatnot. But there's backstory in here to one of our characters. I feel like we haven't really gotten yet, and so it was neat to see the backstory of them and how things kind of transitioned and changed, because they seemed like a very heartwarming person at one point in their life, and then just shit really hit the fan. We got some really cool kind of cameos in here too. Yeah, it's just it's quite something. All in all, I think it was a good episode, and it just kind of was furthering the plot as we get to the finale next week. And I guess where this concludes, it concludes in an established point where, okay, things are kind of like going to be closing in here, and it's going to be coming full circle. We're going to kind of get to see certain characters interacting with each other that we've been wanting to see for a while now. And yeah, I think it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. But I don't know if I have anything else I can really highlight specifically in the non-spoilers. No. Just that it was good. It was good. The show is like, I find like it's a weird James Gunn kind of effect where there's something with like intro music and intro parts like to his episodes and his shows that he does where I just don't want to hit the skip intro button. Usually like when I boot it up and I'm watching this and just that theme kicks in, it's like, yeah, I'm down. I like this theme, and I'll watch the whole intro because it's fun. It's engaging, and it just kind of sets that tone for what you're in for. And the show continues to just be a surprise. I know we reviewed What If last week, and not that I was making comparisons, but I think that there is a defining line between these two shows where What If had a lot of just bad comedic low notes, where this show is just hitting very high comedic high notes. And I appreciate that. They're trying to be funny, both of the different shows, and again, they're both very different universes and franchise. But I think if you have that good writing behind it, you can really do wonders. And this show has really good comedic writing that's been put into it, and so kudos to James Gunn for that. And just tie that in with really emotional moments and good story beats and elements too, and you have a really engaging narrative, and that's what this show has. And so it's been very captivating and keeping my attention week to week. So. Yeah, it's funny because I got home, Madison was like, "Okay, what are you podcasting tonight?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're doing like Skeleton Crew and Dexter, and then Creature Commandos." She's like, "What's Creature Commandos?" I'm like, "Oh, we've watched it together multiple times." And she's like, "Oh, that's the Marvel one." I'm like, "No. That's the DC one with Frankenstein and
Like
all them."
50-50 shot though, she was close.
She was close, yeah, that's for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. If there's nothing else to be said, we're gonna skip on down to our first ad break, and then we'll be back to unravel this package that is Creature Commandos episode 6. We'll be back. Taylor Field, are you writing that down? Because I definitely did not. I apologize.
Oh, I got you.
Okay,
I got
awesome.
you.
Break the fourth wall. Where do you want to go? And by you, I mean me, because I want to go to kind of how you highlighted of just being surprised by like the level of like gore and like just mature content, I think, across the board. And I feel like it shocks me or like gut wrenches me because it's not like it's the whole show throughout. Like we'll have like a nice little, I don't know, very PG looking scene. We have some like characters just talking about whatever, moving on to the next task, and then bang, just someone's head gets blown off and just like brains and guts everywhere. I guess there wouldn't be guts in the head, but the brain guts. Or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe it's just like we're at a brothel and just some of the things people are saying, I'm like, oh my god, right, this is like a mature show. And I remember getting that a lot in the great Legend of Vox Machina. Like that show is very much a mature show. There's like boobs in that show. Like it's raunchy at times, but it's not that all the way through. So it's like when those moments happen, it's like, oh right, okay, yeah, I know. Little Timmy can't be in the room when this show's on. Like it is a mature show. But I like that they're not just using it as like a shock way where that's not even the right term because I just mentioned that's what works well. Like in your face, over the top of like beat you over the head with just like our dick jokes or something. I feel like the humor hits so well because it's not just all humor. Like there is a very like emotional human like stories going on amongst these creature characters. Like 90% of all the flashbacks have been like very like tragic and like emotional most of the time, usually involving like a lot of innocence in some way, shape, or the form. The weasel one was like bringing me to tears. Of course, the Dr. Phosphorus one, this was like the most
Oh.
fucked up out of pretty much all of them, I would say. Just what happened here. But yeah, no, I'm loving the formula of the show. I like how we're spending some time with the character on their origin, but it's not the whole episode. It's just that character. Like I think they do such a good job at balancing everything throughout. But and that involving the mature content. Like I think it is handled well. Because I think there's moments in like if you take like Peacemaker for example, Peacekeeper, Peace one of the pieces, whatever the show
Peacemaker.
was with John Cena that I always get wrong. Yes, Peacemaker. Um, um, I feel like at times that's like over the top with the dick jokes. So like you never fully know with James Gunn, but I think they did a good balancing act of all of that. I spewed a lot at you there, but mostly just the more mature themes and yeah. What do you think about it, Taylor?
Yeah, I think again the fact that you have these mature themes just popping in, it can really catch me off guard still, even though just yeah, you forget that this is an adult oriented animated show. So when you see the bride push her hand into a guy's chest and pull out his heart and then like squeeze it and crush it and the guy just dies looking at it, it's like holy shit, that's after his arm was broken in half. Just stuff like that is just absolutely crazy. And yeah, it's just the connection between the gore and the comedy and the humor. There is a non-abundance of it, and I'm thankful for that. They know when to draw the line, they know when to play it cool, and just to hit that high note and kind of like leave it on a high note and then move into something else. And with these characters and their backstories, it's been nice having each episode kind of focusing on their backstories and giving us a little bit more context to them. And it is very sad the things that they've gone through. Like you said, that Weasel's had that was really really terrible having to watch his little girl that he befriended get crushed to death with the cops were just more focused on like shooting and killing him than saving anyone. And then they top it in this episode when you have Phosphorus, like he was trying to like cure cancer, and his family ends up being betrayed by these gangster guys, these crime people, and they're like his kid and his wife are executed on the floor, and he's crying, and they take him and they rub his hands in their blood and then like put his hands all over their dead bodies for evidence. Like, oh, this is fucked up. Jeez. And then he turns into Phosphorus, and he just goes and like murders the crime guy and like his kids and everything like that. Just goes on like he just absorbs this killing frenzy spirit. He's let loose. I like that because it's kind of like Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight, when Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face and he's like, you know what, fuck it, he lost Rachel and he's just turning into
Yeah.
this monster, right? He doesn't care anymore. So I think that was very fitting, and he just does some crazy shit when he walks up to the gate, and the guy's like, "Can I have your name? I can put you on the list." And his Phosphorus just grabs his face and just fucking melts his head. Like, Jesus Christ, just brutal.
Such a brutal like skill set too. Like just all of the montage of the kills that he did. Like there wasn't a nice one in the mix. Like the one where he's just holding the guy's ankles till they just melted and then he fell to his
Oh,
death. Like God, that's just horrible. And I feel like I just assumed anything he touched would be like just melt like that. But it seems like he can kind of choose when it's working or when it's not. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's very very tragic, horrific origin story. So I
mm-hmm.
feel like when he becomes just a villain, well, we don't get a lot of that just throughout the flashback, I guess, in this episode because where we have him later on, he's just kind of cracking one-liners and like I love all the humor around him, but you don't really see that side of him. You just see the skeleton man, and then on the surface, you would assume he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I think that in this episode they showed him as like an innocent doctor. Um, Obviously goes through that whole thing with his family, horrible. Gets turned to this thing, and then he's like maniacal vengeance, like I'm gonna go murder all these people. You get that side of that, but then like later on in the modern timeline, when he's interacting with that girl that's calling him like the Preyat Skelet,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the end he's like tossing her, and they just kind of bond that way. I think it still showed that like there is nice elements to this character still in there. That there's more than meets the eye. It's kind of the theme with all of these type of Suicide Squad, Creature Commandos types. Well, maybe not the main theme. I feel like there's there's still many characters that are just straight up assholes. Um, but it's usually just more than meets the eye, at least for the creature side. So I like getting that. But it's also not just like, yeah, he's just a straight up bad guy. Or no, sorry, he's not just a straight up good guy that was in the wrong place. Like he is pretty complicated. That like all these characters are like they're not just good or bad. Like
Yeah.
Weasel, although he was put in a shitty situation, I'm sure he would still fucking murder someone if he was hungry and in a room with one person, right? Like I think he still has those traits. He's still an animal. Um, but I don't know. I just really liked what they did with Dr. Foss here. Do they call him
Yeah.
that, or you just putting that in your name? Because
That's
now in my
just my
mind,
name.
I'm like hearing it now. I'm like hearing the characters call him Doc Foss.
I don't think they call him that in the show. That's just me winging it.
Yeah, I like it.
Um,
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 we get Rick Flag not doing much this episode. He's pretty much just on the mend. He got
Unconscious.
brutalized by what people are thinking was Frankenstein, even though we know it was the Clayface.
It's Clayface, yeah.
The Clayface, but no mention of Clayface in here at all. Do you think that's? I mean, or did I miss something?
No, they didn't mention it, but I just think it's funny how Clayface kind of ties into another Easter egg. I just feel like the characters that have been appearing in here on cameo basis have been really Batman centric.
Yeah. He's getting ready for his animated Batman show.
Mhm.
I don't think that's actually. Well, I guess we already had Cape Crusader, but that wasn't a James Gunn thing. That was well before his time, right?
You reviewed that with Travis.
Oh yes, I did.
I
Which
have
I should
no
know that
idea.
information, but I don't know. I don't know.
I
Maybe
could
tune
not
in
tell
next
you
time.
because
So I'll let you know.
that was on Amazon, right?
Yes, on the
Yeah.
Primo. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know.
Anyways, I brought up Clayface because he wasn't mentioned here. Do you think we're getting him next episode? I
No.
don't think so. Maybe an Easter egg, or not even an Easter egg, a breadcrumb for something down the line. Because it just seemed like he was set up in like a bigger player type of setup, but I don't really want them to focus on that threat when we already have the princess to deal with next episode. Which, yeah, our crews, they're at the gates. Literally, they're ready to kick some ass, and I don't like her odds because just seeing Doctor Phosphorus pop off can't end well for her. Seeing the bride pop off on those those two brothers in the brothel, that was another gut wrench moment actually. When the brother comes in, he's like, "Oh yeah, let's kick some ass," and then his head just blows up because he's just like right there with a gun. I'm like, man, this show is amazing. They're just going for it, so I like that. But yeah, we got the bride, Doc Foss, fish lady that I always
Nina.
Nina. I always forget her name. I'm sorry, Nina. And who am I forgetting? Weasel wasn't there. It was who was the last chap with our crew? Nina,
Uh,
Bride, Doc
those two were in the
Foss.
brothel, and then Doc Foss comes after, and then Weasel comes after as well, because
Oh,
Giant
okay.
Robot's gone, Frankenstein's coming, so yeah, it's
I
just the
just don't
four of
remember.
them.
I just couldn't remember seeing Weasel there, but yeah, they're at the gates. I don't know. It's kind of looking like more of a setup for what the World War III situation that Cersei prophesized about, right? Like she's got her armies right now. She's got her legions. She's sounding a lot more extreme now. Like we got to murder these creature commandos. And yeah, I don't know. Like for me, getting this, like, do you think this would have happened if they didn't go back to like murder her? Like, do you think this actually would have happened, or was Cersei's vision something that was kind of like she said that, and that's something that led it? What is going on here?
Well, oh,
That spooked me.
was that you?
That was not me. That was a ghost.
You know, I'm just gonna put it out there. There's our Facebook page has been dropping some weird things. I think one of our former members is going a little loopy here in his isolation. Like we need a wellness check on them.
I think so as well. Yes, but we're not doing that right now.
No. You mentioned how did you word that? The visions here from Cersei and just how the princess maybe wouldn't
Yeah.
have gone through with this if the creature commandos didn't initiate this and instigate this. I think you're right, and I think that again, someone wants this to happen and wants the queen to die, right? Or the princess, like I should say, because who hired Clayface and put Clayface in that position, right?
Mm-hmm.
uh, like someone wanted to ensure that the government believes Cersei's vision and that
Mm-hmm.
this was 100% accurate and true and that we need to kill her. So there's still a larger enemy at play here that we don't know about,
Yeah.
kind of pulling the strings. And I think that, yeah, this is forcing the princess's hand to kind of step out of her shell and go to war because now she has the American government that they've just opened up to, right? That we learned they just opened up to the world through trade and diplomacy and all that, and now the world is kind of showing their true colors. Like, hey, we're trying to actually kill you now. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So
Would you be upset if it like that whole because we got one more episode left and these are pretty short episodes, right? Like I think this one was 24 minutes or so. They've all kind of been around that average. Like I don't think that's really enough time to like introduce someone that was pulling the strings, like the puppeteer, and then also deal with them and be satisfied with it. Like it just seems like too much at once. Are you okay if that isn't resolved this season and like it's just like, oh, it was this guy, and then we'll find out next season what happens with that?
Well, only because we know that there's a season 2 coming. So
Yeah,
I think that I can live with it. I can. I
yeah,
think we're gonna get the baseline story kind of wrapped up here and our basic villain kind of just taken care of, and then we'll get some little nod to the main big baddie, and that'll be the big cliffhanger to kind of keep
yeah.
us engaged and excited for the second season.
Yeah, no, I would prefer it being that way. Honestly, I just think it's way too much to cram into a 24-minute finale. I want a just nice epic finale with the princess, and then some truths come out, a little bit of shock and surprise, and then like the team together, like we're the family. Oh yeah, looking off in the sunset. Our next threat about coming to us. So, um, yeah, I do hope that is what happens there. Um. Oh, there's another question I was gonna ask about. Uh, my gosh, my brain's on the fritz. One day back to work after the holiday, and I'm just
Ugh.
toast right now. Um, because there's another player that we were. I was gonna ask about that. The GI robot thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not looking as likely as he's gonna come back right away. I still don't think he's forever gone. What do you think? Do you think he's forever
I
gone?
I don't think he's forever gone. I
Yeah.
think that he will come back. At least I hope, because I mean, you can't have Sean Gunn just only doing weasel grunts. You got to bring him back for a bigger
They're
role,
paying him the
right?
big bucks. Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
highest build on the highest cast build. That's not true. I hope it's not true. Otherwise, there's some major collusion going on.
Yeah.
Um, GI robot, and then oh yeah, I guess I do think he's gonna be back. It's partly my heart saying that, mostly my heart saying that, but I'm not so confident it would be a this season thing, just because we haven't really hinted to that at all. That we're building him, or we found someone that can do that, or we even have him or his pieces. I think I'm holding on to hope more than anything.
Mhm. Mhm. Me
Um,
too.
Um. Okay. I guess we got Rick Flag. Yeah, he's bleeding out with Waller. Waller still seems like very out of the loop of what's going on. Do you think that's true, or do you think she knows more than what she's revealing?
I thought that she might know more than she's revealing, but at
Yeah.
this point, with seeing her kind of get rocked a little bit by Cersei's vision, I don't think that's the case anymore.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
she's getting played by their by either Cersei's vision was like tweaked,
Hmm.
or maybe some of her bosses are like doing something nefarious, cuz I don't know, like it seems like someone that's going to be wanting to invade or war with Polisknayav, whatever this place is called. Like they could be one of my main suspects for someone that's really pulling the strings here, especially someone that might be abusing the creature commando protocol thing. Obviously it should be Waller's, but she's got bosses above her, so um, I don't know. I'm not really confident in a lot of that, but I'm sniffing out some sussery with the whole structure of what's going on there.
Yeah.
And I am excited for Rick Flag to wake up and actually dialogue with people and figure out what's going on, because I was super on his side when everyone just blamed the princess right away. Like it seemed pretty urgent. But since he's been out of the loop, um, I feel like there has been nothing but sussery from the princess. So it's just been like a timing thing. I don't know if that was just how the show's going, but it just seemed like
Hmm.
a jump. But as of right now, I feel like if he see, I don't know. I just want him to wake up and interact with people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Especially because we got the finale. Like we
yeah,
need to get him back, and we had him interacting with Frankenstein for so much. So get
that's
him
the other
back.
thing too. Frankenstein's on his way, right? So he's gonna see the
Yeah.
bride. That's gonna be another thing that we have to cover in the finale, and what's gonna come to that. I'm gonna 100% put my money on the bride, because she's a total fucking badass. I always forget how like super strong she is. Like you already mentioned when she just snapped that guy's arm with her little fingies. But yeah, no, she's like resilient. She has so much durability. She's probably got enhanced stamina. If we pull up her character sheet like we did in the X-Men show. But yeah, she's just total badass. I feel like I see the look. I'm like, okay, Frankenstein's bride, and then I see her with guns. Okay, she's a good skilled gun person, but she's also just superhuman with her
Yeah.
strength and everything and speed. And Frankenstein, seeing him just squish people's heads to a pulp, still put my money on the bride. Because it's not like Frankenstein's gonna fight back or anything. Like he's in love with her.
Yeah.
I liked his little fucked up dialogue that he had with the pilot here of just like, yeah, no, and then we're gonna do this, and we're gonna be so in love. Like, do you believe in love? I know I do, and like, I've gone back and forth on it. I think in small doses, it's appropriate. I like that humor.
Yeah, I agree. It's innocent humor and him just saying it how it is. Like, oh yeah, you go do what you were born to do and play your small role in this larger plan of me getting my love and all that. So, I think that David Harbour's doing a good job as Frankenstein. I'm quite enjoying his character.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm okay to wrap this up. We got Dylan Muss in the chat. Big Creature Commandos fan.
Dylan.
He's watching every episode. He's just not joining us for this review. I think that's what's happening because he made it this far. And so did all of you. So thanks for tuning into this week's episode. Of course, we got the finale next week. Tons of things on the feed. Tons of things dropping right now. So catch you there, and we'll be here. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I almost did it again where I just leave the studio instead of end stream.